What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. It's hot, and that means it's sandal season. Now, I've got quite a few sandals for different occasions, but I've struggled to find the perfect adventure sandal. Something that was both secure and durable that I could use for taking off the beaten path. So through word of mouth and recommendations online, I ended up deciding to try the Bedrock Cairn Evo adventure sandals. In the past, I've owned chacos and tevas, and each had something about them that kept me from going back to them once I needed to get a new pair. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what I like and dislike about the Bedrocks, how they compare to their competition, and why you might want to take a look at them as your next adventure sandal. Now, I paid for these Bedrocks with my own money, and Bedrock is not paying me anything to say anything in this video. These are all my own thoughts. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. The Bedrocks are made in the USA, and they're a pretty simple construction. They consist of the main footbed attached to their patented Y-strap system. The footbed is a thin layer of foam attached to a Vibram XS Trek outsole. Now, they have a version of this sandal with a Vibram Mega Grip if perhaps this grip wasn't enough for you, but I actually haven't had any issues with this. This 3-point Y-strap system is what I really think sets Bedrock apart from its competition. The main system is these 3 straps that are joined together by this, I believe it's like a nylon paracord, and then a similar cord is used to attach this front Y-strap to the front of the footbed. Now, the actual closure mechanism consists of 3 different adjustment points. So I'll start with this one. This is on the inside of the foot, and this nylon strap has a hook that you can slide through these little loops here to kind of dial in where that lands on your foot. Once you've set this, you kind of forget it. On the back, similarly, is a Velcro strap, and once you set that, you can kind of forget that too. The only one that I find myself adjusting just to get in and out of the sandal is this sort of loop closure here on the outside of the foot. This is the one that's kind of the easiest to adjust on the fly, and it makes sense. So once you've kind of gotten these 2 set, this is the only one you really mess with. All of these straps are super hard wearing nylon, and I don't see these wearing out anytime soon. And what's great is Bedrock actually offers strap repair and resoling. So if you've worn through your Vibram sole or perhaps a strap is broken on you, you can send it off to Bedrock and they'll repair it. Now, my time with these Bedrocks has been overwhelmingly positive. I've used them for pretty much everything from walking our dogs to hiking our local trails, and I even brought them with me on a recent bike packing trip that I took through the Texas Hill Country. They were lightweight and small enough to where I could strap them to my bike without the bulk of carrying along another pair of shoes to wear at camp. So one of my favorite things about these has to be this closure system that Bedrock has designed. These are by far going to be the most secure feeling sandal that I've ever owned, which I think is why so many people love to use them for hiking as well as even cycling. Of all the adventure sandals I've tried, I've had chacos and tevas. This, I think, is the best closure system of those 3. I think for a couple reasons. One, because the Bedrocks allow your feet to kind of splay out. I could do a whole video on kind of the benefits of more barefoot oriented shoes, but to kind of condense it, your feet can benefit you a lot more if they're allowed to move. You have a ton of muscles and ligaments in your feet that sometimes get restricted with modern footwear. So something like this is a great option if you want to allow your feet to do what they were naturally meant to do. Now, per Bedrock's sizing instructions, you need at least 1 centimeter of space between your heel and the edge of the footbed and your toe and the edge of the footbed. So I ended up sizing up to a size 12. Dialing in fit was a little bit tricky because there's 3 different ways to adjust the fit. It was a lot of trial and error, and I finally landed on what I think is the perfect fit with them. Once I got that out of the way, then all it really is just adjusting this 1 strap on the side to get my foot in and out. The Vibram sole has been great. I've had no issues with grip on any of the terrain that I've gone on. On top, there's this nice little kind of triangular grid texture that keeps your foot a little more stuck to the footbed, and I've had no issues with that being slippery even when these get wet. I actually think it's kind of the perfect mix of feeling the ground below you, but also feeling protected from any sharp objects you might be stepping on. With that being said, Bedrock offers thicker soled versions of their Cairn sandals. I opted for these because I wanted a little more close to ground feel. Like pretty much every sandal or open toe shoe I've worn, there's always the possibility of getting little rocks and debris in the footbed. One thing that's actually kind of nice about these is because the footbed is flat, there's no raised edges on the side. It's actually pretty easy to kind of get little rocks and dust and all that have gotten stuck under your foot out. So as of now, I feel like some of the biggest competitors to the Bedrock Cairns are going to be Chacos, Tevas, Keens, and even Birkenstocks has some kind of adventure options. I haven't tried Birkenstocks adventure sandals or Keens, but I have tried Chacos and Tevas in the past. Tevas to me feel a little bit cheaper built. The Tevas I had would kind of be the closest relative to these, and honestly, even though they were cheaper by about $50, I think you're getting way more of your money's worth with the Bedrocks. The Tevas kind of fell apart. They used more foam than rubber in the footbed, so because of that, that foam broke down over time, and they really just felt flimsy and like they would fall apart, and I wouldn't trust that foot closure system nearly as much as I would these. Chacos seems like the probably closest competitor to Bedrock. I always found Chacos to be a little heavy. One kind of plus of these is they're so lightweight. Chacos has that really thick rubber, dense rubber footbed, and you might like Chacos over these for the support, because I know Chacos have a ergonomically designed footbed. So if you're flat-footed and you like having an arch support, these probably aren't going to be for you. My personal preference is these over the Chacos, and I think as far as durability goes, I feel like these will probably hold up just as well as Chacos. I think Chacos too are also made in the United States, so again, I think that would be a pretty close competitor, and I believe Chacos are a little more expensive than these. So if it were my money, I would go with the Bedrocks. I'm not really reaching for these if I want to look stylish. And again, I don't think that Bedrock is really making them for that reason. So this is not a deal breaker. I'm not always trying to be fashionable. Sometimes I just want to be comfortable. I do think it would be kind of cool if in the future Bedrock did like a Cairn Premium or something, to where maybe they replaced some of these nylon straps with leather. I think that could be kind of an interesting option, and I could see that being maybe a more fashion forward example. I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that would buy something like that, but with sandals kind of being trendy right now, I could see a leather version being kind of a cool option for a real laid back kind of resort wear look. All right, y'all, thanks for watching. That was my review of the Bedrock Cairn Evo sandals. If you'd like to see more of my thoughts on other products that I'm reviewing, please subscribe to the channel. Like this video if you enjoyed this content, and comment if you have recommendations for videos I could do in the future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.